board, or call to order the Board of Trustees work. Jeez Louise. Sorry, long day, everybody. The Board of Trustees meeting on February 12, 2025. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Cindy Simpson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brent Recorder.
Here.
Trustee Andres Esparza.
Here.
Trustee Corey Jabor. Trustee Daniel Hennick.
Here.
Trustee McManning.
Yes. Here.
Trustee David Creighton.
Here.
And Student Liaison Olivia Jukes.
All right. Seeing we have more than a quorum, I would look for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The next item on the agenda is audience business, and we have a longer version in our agenda, and I'm going to read the Cliff Notes version of the rules. All people wishing to address the board shall do so from the podium provided in the boardroom. Comments shall be directed to the Board of Trustees, not to the audience. Public comments regarding items not on the agenda shall be limited to 5 minutes per person. Public comments regarding public hearing items on the agenda will be limited to 3 minutes per person at the time the item comes up on the agenda. No person shall be allowed to speak until recognized by the mayor, and the board will not respond to citizen comments or take any action during audience business. At the end of the meeting, they may instruct staff whether further action is needed or desired by the majority of the board. So those are the rules. The only person I see signed up is Mark Worth. Will you please go to the podium and state your name and address for the record?
I have some paper here. It would be acceptable to pass that to the board at this time?
Yeah.
The majority of this stuff is pictures, but there is a very short contract at the beginning. Before I begin, I need to correct some critical misinformation you received at the December meeting. Neither our attorney nor I have ever threatened to sue the town of Memphis, and we do not intend to sue the town. Now, I'd like to ask the mayor if she would allow the board 2 minutes to read this very short contract before I begin. If that's inappropriate, I'll just start.
It would be part of your time.
I have a lot to talk about, so I guess we'll move forward in this case. The critical elements within the contract that we'll be discussing are paragraphs 2 and 3 on the second page. Good evening, trustees and honorable mayor. My name is Mark Worth, and my wife, Corey Heisler, and I reside at 10750 Road 43, and I'm here to talk about your water. 10750 Road 43 is the property we have owned for the last 9 years. This property is used by the town for water diversion from the West Memphis River, 2 settling ponds occupying about 4,000 square feet, 1/2 mile of supply pipeline, and seasonal daily use of 1/2 mile of our driveway by your staff for access. The town is currently in breach of the 1960 easement agreement by compensating the owner of the land with only one of the two taps from the main flow line of the town, and not providing that water which the town has or obtains by or through the Memphis River, not needed by the town. I've provided you a copy of this easement. You will find this compensation to the landowner called out within this contract in paragraphs 2 and paragraphs 3 of the contract. The image on the following page, provided by your attorney, shows a curb stop that your attorney insisted controls the water of a second tap called out in the agreement. The next image shows the curb stop in question excavated. This curb stop is connected to a tap in an old cast iron pipeline that has been abandoned. There is no second tap on the functioning line within the property. That was owned by Shepherd as of the date of the 1960 agreement. The next page shows a picture I took in 2017 showing a vertical culvert with any water not needed by the town flowing over and onto crushed rock that was placed to eliminate erosion where the water falls. The town attorney insists that this is a leak based on mistaken information provided by a retired water commissioner who was unaware of the easement that has been in place since 1960. You can see on the next page a diagram of the intended function of the 1960 pipeline design, allowing the pipeline to remain full without flooding the partial that measured the town's use of its water right by spilling unused water. This satisfies paragraph 3 of the easement and allows flow to the water plant to be controlled at the water plant. The next diagram, without a provision for overflow of unused water, shows the measuring device overflowing because the water treatment plant is not using the amount of water flowing through the measuring device. This does not allow the measurement of the town's water usage, and there is no way to determine if the town is exceeding its water rights. The last page shows a half-full pipeline with less water in it than the water treatment plant is using. This allows air into the pipeline. This air tends to tear apart the pipeline and does not allow the town to fully utilize its water rights.
You have 1 minute. 1 minute left.
The culvert picture was clearly designed to satisfy the 1960 easement, allowing the town to control water at the water treatment plant, utilizing its full water right and meeting the easement requirements. The town manager declined to meet with us and your attorney and I have not been able to reach an agreement. He is still insisting that the second tap is being provided at some unknown location. He insists that the unused water you saw flowing out of that culvert was a leak and not an infrastructure designed to allow the town to meet the requirement of paragraph 3 of the easement approved by the town trustees in 1960. It is apparently his position that the town should use 4,000 square feet of our land for the settling ponds, 1/2 mile of our land for a pipeline, and drive on 1/2 mile of our driveway every day for 5 months of each year in exchange for a limited tap that will be dry when the town is pulling water from Jackson Lake, approximately 7 months of the year.
Okay, thank you. That's
I
5
shall
minutes.
return. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, anybody else here for audience business?
Let me just comment, I'm still asking for a work session meeting. I apologize for not getting that in.
Okay. Anybody else here to speak on items not on the agenda? All right. Next item is Montezuma County Commissioner update.
Good evening. Last month, I missed your meeting because I was in Denver at the Water Congress for 3 days. There's been a lot of meetings the last couple of weeks, it seems like. I was over at Southwest today at our Water Conservation Board over there. We did approve 2 grants to the Memphis Conservation District to do some watershed analysis and some public education. So that 2 helpful grants will come back into the community. We actually have a real strong grant program there. We had only 5 applicants for all this whole western district here, all 9 of these counties that are part of Southwest Water Conservation District. Only had 5 applicants for it. So not much there. We had one of them that's approving a inlet outlet structure to a dam that's up by Norwood, up on the other side of Lone Cone. Just for Lewis, an educational grant. These 2 from the Mancos Conservation District, and there was one other. And that's all we had there. So if you know of any projects like that people are needing some assistance with, if they will apply, we're willing to try to help, whether it's building some infrastructure stuff or actually education type stuff, or you can apply over there and get some help to do it. So whether it's people with if we have people that have infrastructure deals with their pipelines or anything else, they can sure get some help, especially if they have an emergency deal. We have an emergency grant. It's up to $50,000 that can help out. And we've actually used it over at the Monson Valley Irrigation Company a couple of years ago when we forced those ditches off the hill at Groundhog. That's available over there, so it's something that people need to know about. Basically, the stuff on the Colorado River, which up at Water Congress, it's pretty much in the hands of the Bureau of Reclamation now, what they're going to decide as far as how they're going to manage those 2 reservoirs. And they basically got a 5 alternative plan right now. Which one they'll go with is kind of up in the air, but hopefully they're going to lean toward the one that the Upper Basin states have put in, which is they're actually the 5th alternative in the list. It's not necessarily mean anything. Their alternative is the 2nd alternative, and there's a lot of difference between the alternatives between them. Start to begin with. As far as in the county, otherwise, we are redoing road. Where County Road 25 comes into 184 up by the Heritage Center. That road comes in at an angle like that. We're actually going to turn that and make it butt in straight into right across from the Heritage Center there. So where that road's already wider, we're going to have to do a little shoulder work on the left side, but we can put it in right there and have some AC and DC lanes, make it a lot safer. The state also told us we basically couldn't do any more development on that road until we fix that. It's amazing to me that they can make all these rules about how our county roads comes in an angle to theirs. But you look at these right out here. It's a state highway. Comes in just like that. It's just, who knows. Anyway, Ironwood up there, that's all, I don't know, yeah, I'm sure most of you have seen in the paper that it's going to sheriff's sale. There's a lot of fines that are built up on that property. Right now the lien holder has $600,000 against that thing. There's way more than that in fines to the Colorado Department of Health and Environment and Monson County that has happened. We have been looking to hire an assistant attorney. It's actually a part-time position. It's like 2/3 time position. We haven't had any luck so far. I don't know whether we're going to have to increase the fees. We're going to have to do something in order to get him some help, in order to get all the things done. Right now, we're in a lawsuit with the dollar store that tried to go in on County Road Inn, and we turned it down because of the amount of traffic and stuff that was it was actually zoned commercial, that little lot was, but the commercial operation that was there was an art type of business, and then amounted to about 5 or 6 trips a day at the max. And to change that to 600, that was a little over top. And it's not coming directly off the highway, it came off our county road. You know, so it was a big change for that area. We felt like it was too much, or I did. Anyway, that's why it was turned down, because we felt like it was too much change. It wasn't because it was a dollar store or whatever, it didn't matter. You know, it was just too much change. But we're being sued over that. See what happens in the court, whether how it works. So we're having to. We actually have subcontracted that out to a different attorney system in order to take care of that case, because since Ian left and went to be the county judge, we needed somebody that had some more experience. So we've actually subbed that out. Otherwise, we're having to make some changes to our land use code, basically. As some of you well know, we've had some issues, and we're gonna have to work through those and do some changes to our code. So, and that's in the process.
All right.
That's about it.
Anybody have any questions? All right. Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it, Gerald.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. Next item on the agenda is announcements.
Justin and Jason each have announcements, so I'll let them go first.
The first one is the CIP program was awarded at Communities and Heroes from the American Red Cross. They'll be receiving that May 3rd in Denver. I'll attend that award ceremony, so that way the board can get pictures of it. Second announcement is we got the Zircon through the Colorado Post Peace Officers Grant for capital. And that's up there at the range, so it'll protect our equipment that's up there. And hopefully, we're making that facility a little better, so that way it can, as we continue to grow this department, we have a place to train and meet all of our state required standards. Right?
Thank you, Justin. Jason?
Just a quick one here. So last Tuesday, I started doing open business drop-in hours at the community center. And I'm doing these hours on Tuesday mornings from 8 to noon right now. And I'm working with Make Us United on it. And so it's kind of a combination of bringing the community into the community center, so Make Us United engage, and then I can work with businesses. And the other thing I'm promoting is the ability for remote workers to come in and work in that space. So just want to give you guys a heads up down there. And then in the next month or so, I'm going to start doing my business support drop-in hours around the community again. Just took a little hiatus during the holidays. Okay. So anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So energy impact hearings, global energy impact grant application hearings are in March. The public works staff will be attending those meetings because we are submitting a grant application for our wastewater treatment plant. With regard to energy impact, there have been several pieces of legislation that have taken money from mineral lease and severance tax. House Bill 174 took $16 million. House Bill 130 took, I think it was 30 million, but don't quote me on that one, but it's a significant amount. The state did take $10 million to balance the general fund budget this year. There are several pieces of pending legislation. Senate Bill 37 is looking at, if it passes, we'll take $15 million from energy impact to reimburse property taxes to communities that are impacted by coal. Hospital 1061 will take $4 million from energy impact to build interactive playgrounds. Currently, there are 3 rounds a year. There's generally approximately $50 million to give away each round. The last round of this year, we will have $10 million to give away. And starting next year, there will only be 2 rounds of funding. So we are going to have to be very selective with our capital projects, and our grant applications are going to have to be full of proof.
Yeah.
So just wanted to give you guys a heads up, because it will possibly affect capital projects that we do. DOLA has been very good to the town with regard to approving grant applications. And so I shared that with the county manager and the other municipal managers. But just wanted to kind of put it on the radar that we're going to have to be selective. And then the town is applying for a grant for the CIP program through DOLA. There's a 0 match. So you will see that on the next agenda. Jason's going to start working on that, and then you'll see that on the next agenda for your review and authorization to apply. And that's pretty much all I have for announcements for this time.
Okay. Anybody on the board? All right. Thank you. Next item is the consent agenda. And as we know, but just for the viewing public out there, these are items that we will not be doing separate motions for or discussing. These are just kind of informational, kind of regular things, the business of the board. And so we do these as a group motion, second, and vote. And so the items tonight for the consent agenda are approval of the minutes of January 22, 2025, the January 2025 bills and claims, Mancos Creative District update, Mancos Valley Chamber update, Region 9 update, and that is all that is on the consent agenda. And before we take a motion, does anyone on the board need one of those to come off the consent? Okay, not hearing any. So I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Will the all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Still trying to figure out which ones everybody votes. All right. The next item on our agenda is all of the discussion and action items individually. And so the first one is the Mancos Gear Library.
So Ed Rittner is here. He has been instrumental in starting this program. And you as a board have authorized agency contributions over the years towards this program. What we've been discussing is the town assuming ownership of the program, owning the zircon, owning the equipment, putting it into Royal Park, but Ed and his volunteers would still run the program. We would insure the program, which would cost the town $57 a year.
Can't be real.
So,
Highway robbery.
Yeah, but we've kind of been talking about this because insurance for this program for a nonprofit is expensive. It's $3,000 a year.
Wow.
And it's making the program just, it's not working for the community. If you have any questions about how it's used or who uses it, Ed can answer that for you. But what Ed and I have been talking about is, again, the town kind of assuming ownership. The running of the program would not change. I did talk to Terry. He's fine with relocating the zircon, and we will probably do that. We're asking you to approve this, but even if you don't, we'll probably relocate the zircon anyway, put it in Royal Park. But so it's a simple piece of business, but I think the community utilizes the program, and the youth of the community utilize the program. For those of you that are not familiar with the program, it's a gear lending library. The citizens of Mancos can check out gear. They can check out a snowboard, they can check out a kayak, just like checking out a book from the library. They can check out a tent and a sleeping bag or a fishing pole, so it makes outdoor recreation attainable for our community, whether or not they own or can afford to own.
What are the numbers? Like how many people?
Yeah, Ed, do you want to
Come on
come
up,
up? Get on the microphone.
Okay.
State your name and address for the record.
Ed Rittner, 262 East Montezuma Street. The membership currently is super low. Like the school district is our only official member, and part of that is because we haven't really marketed it much. So, and it's sort of organically grown to a place where we lend stuff. Like I just had a conversation yesterday with Andres about helping out, potentially supplementing gear from the Cortez Library for a San Juan Mountains Association camping experience for kids coming down from Denver. So up to this point, that's been the where it's gotten the most use. School district organizations like San Juan Mountains Association, Chicken Creek Nordic, and that's been intentional because part of the issue is like being able to. I would like to use money that we secure to be able to actually ultimately pay someone to help manage it. And at this point, it's like I've just been keeping my head above water to get secure money to insure it so it can actually, operate. But it's really, it's 3 years in the making now, and everything about it is really functional. Website, the software to run it, the gear inventory is spectacular. So it just came to a point where I hadn't thought to ask. Heather, I think, was in a place where like that's a thing that's going and it's great and there's no need for involvement from the town. But through a conversation that we had, realized that neither of those were true. It was like we could use help, and I'm more than willing to take it. And ultimately down the road, it is for the town. I have no personal ownership of it. No one really does, but there's a lot of great gear and it's there and ready for our community to use. It just needs help to really be in a place where, and location is huge. Boyle Park, having it there will give us the ability to say, like, on Saturday, we're inviting families to come out and do, camp setup 101, so they can know that it's there, A, and B, know how to feel comfortable checking the stuff out because they feel like they know how to use it. So a lot of really good pieces in place. It's just at a point where it could use help. It makes sense for the town to help. I'm glad that you're open to hearing the idea of doing that. And ultimately, I just see it as being really an asset and a resource for the town. So,
cool. Any questions of Ed? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
And if the board authorizes us to move forward, there are still some pieces that we need to work out as far as like list of volunteers, who's going to be responsible for checking the equipment. Volunteers are doing that now. We don't anticipate that changing. I cannot say that it will never change, and the town won't need to step in which case it will come back to you. But I don't see it being a large. I don't think it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
The volunteers are pretty active.
I believe, the volunteers are all running it now, and they have
okay.
for 3 years.
Yeah,
Great.
and to be quite honest, there are a couple that want to be more active, and
Sweet.
because it's been, it's been full of rains tight with
Yeah.
they're waiting for more to do.
Okay, that's great to know. That's helpful.
Yeah.
And so we would, for example, I think we would meet with the volunteers and say, okay, how much time do you have? What can you do? What hours does it need to be open?
Yeah.
And then the town can advertise those hours, and it's in Boyle Park. So we can gradually. I think that it can definitely grow.
With pretty minimal impact on us, though.
I'm sorry?
With pretty minimal impact.
That's
kind of
to the town staff. I think
Yeah.
the impact is minimal. I think it'll be huge for the community.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a
You know
really
what I mean?
pro.
Yeah, there's about $30,000 worth of gear in the inventory. That's
Yeah.
like, again, all the pieces of the built that were, that there's costs associated with it. So it's really about just getting it I think partnering up to help it really operate in a way that's successful.
Well-
And big savings is insurance.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
massive savings.
Yeah.
Huge.
And MVRs, you're representing the gear share or MVR?
I'm representing the gear share, and that's
Okay.
something that we'll likely have to separate
Yeah.
ourselves from NVR,
Okay.
which is fine. I just had our annual MOU meeting with them. I gave them a heads up that this conversation is happening.
Okay. And they're good with that potential direction?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a separate entity. It's a
Yeah,
project.
yeah,
I know that they'd like to keep us under their umbrella as
Sure,
projects,
sure.
but they also understand
Cool.
we can't. They're not in a position to help us out in the ways that
Yes.
help. So.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And where in Boyle Park would it be?
Over, where the giant pile of snow is right there on the southeast side of the park?
By the bridge.
By the horseshoe pits?
Yep.
Mm.
And then again, if you will see the site again, if you approve it tonight, you'll see it again, because we will need to come up with an MOU. And what I want to make sure is that it's in writing that if for whatever reason, if there's an unforeseen circumstance that we can't, or a future board says, no, we don't want to do that, that equipment reverts back to the district. That kind of thing, they need to come up and just make sure everything's open and above board and everybody's protected.
Yeah. So the location, does that jive with the master plan for the park?
Yes,
That,
there's nothing over there.
okay,
It'll
because
be on the other side.
we don't want to
Pickleball
interfere with
courts.
It's
pickleball.
movable too.
Yeah.
It will be on the other side of the pickleball.
It's
Yeah.
pretty much where that road was.
Yeah,
It's not over any infrastructure. Terry, I've already pulled Terry in and kind of talked to him.
yeah. And people will be able to drive in the,
They can back in this parking lot here and take their beer or car.
Yeah.
okay.
That's great.
Okay,
And if they're having a giant event, we can even open, just like we do for Vegas Days, we can open.
yeah.
You can drive down the road.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because, eventually if there's kayaks and canoes and people aren't gonna wanna tote them across the whole park, Okay, cool. So,
Yeah, and Justin actually just brought to my attention, and I haven't even, this is the first time that Ed's hearing it, Terry has some cookies on vacation, we'll talk about it, but the other potential location is the spot, in the pocket park behind the new marshal's office. We had originally talked about maybe moving the jail over there, but
Yeah.
we can't move it either, they don't fall apart, so we're like,
Oh.
not move the jail.
Oh.
So, when Terry gets back, we'll talk about, we can either put it there, that's right up to the parking lot, or over there.
mhm.
We'll figure that piece of it out. So we have a couple of really good locations.
Both of those sound great.
Yeah,
That was actually,
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
So-
Thank
Yeah.
you.
that was gonna be my suggestion too, was if we can't move the jail, that was gonna be my next question was, because I was over walking the jail the other day, just doing a little walk around it, and I was like, I don't know if we can move this.
I'm not
Because
willing to take that risk.
that one side looks a little
wonky.
cavey-in-y, I
Yeah,
guess would be the word.
Yeah.
Technical term.
yes,
That is
That's the technical term for a cook, okay?
technical construction term. Okay, anything else? Anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? All right, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to authorize the town administrator to assume ownership of the Zircon and equipment currently owned by the Lancaster Library, to implement a new program under the town of Lancaster Library, and to draft and execute an MOU for this new program.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Andres Esparza.
Aye.
Trustee Daniel Hennett.
Aye.
Trustee McMahon.
Aye.
Trustee David.
All
So
right,
next step, we'll be adding it to our insurance, we can get that done first, and then we'll reach out to Russell there and move forward.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks,
thank you, Ed.
If you don't mind, there's a formations hockey game on.
Bye.
Priorities.
Appreciate all along these last 3 years.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next item is trustee protocol update.
I'm going to take a step back and let you all and maybe discuss.
So,
Basically, what you have in your packet for you shows the red line changes from our last workshop when we went through this, and then Mayor Simpson had some comments about making about clarifying the gender pronouns, and also a couple of typos that she had found. I believe those changes have all been made. And so this is something that you could adopt if you are inclined. I motion that we get the clean copy. If you see any other changes or typos corrected, just let us know.
If you choose to move forward, it can be consensus.
Okay. I noticed on the page number 5 on it in our packet, it's 23 of 145. Towards the bottom in communication email, where we've got trustee, we would need a the in there, which I'm sure you would see as soon as you did the correct change. But I'm weird. Anybody else notice anything? Want to discuss any potential changes? Have we beaten this to
We've
death
been talking
and
about
back?
this since August. Let me please make a motion.
All right. Well, seeing no one wants to keep chatting about it, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the trustee protocols as presented with the line changes, and get a clean copy, and let's just get this moving, please.
I'll second.
David. All right. Well, hey, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
God, no. Moving on.
We're going
Okay.
to talk about social media some more.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
can't wait. Okay. So the next item, funny enough, is the historic jail renovation and restoration discussion. So I guess we're not going to be talking about moving it.
No, because I did just find out today that
That was the.
I was actually talking to our contractor on the master's office, and he just happened to wander out there, and he's like, yeah, I would not recommend you move that. We can absolutely rehabilitate it where it is,
Mm-hmm.
but he strongly recommended against moving it. And I'm willing to consider that if you want us to, really, but
No.
it's very large.
That left side's not gonna, if we move it, it's gonna fall in.
Yeah.
KV-any is the word, yes.
KV-any.
I think that's the engineering term.
I'm
David?
wondering.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's any kind of historic society grants from the Colorado Historical Society that might be available.
It's not registered.
Oh, well, we have a process.
Is there anybody that was put in the jail that made a bunch of money and has fond memories of the jail wants to donate to the jail?
And it wasn't even in that spot before.
Yeah, and I think that might hinder. It's been moved multiple times.
Yeah.
Town.
Yeah.
It has been worked on, and I think it's
Original.
Yeah.
happy to look into that if you all want us to look into it. Adding it to the historic register, but I see it on it now, so.
Yeah. Let's see if it's fixable first, or stabilible.
So Sherry and I've already started.
Less KV-any.
Yes.
You'll see that RFP, if you're interested in seeing the RFP before we publish it, you'll see that once we get a draft over, and you guys can see it, give us feedback, and then we'll publish it.
Great.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Could be an affordable housing project.
No. Sorry, was that out loud?
Sorry. Yes.
Tiny home for the league.
Tiny homes. Okay. Moving along. Because, yeah, we don't need a motion on that. All right. Comprehensive plan discussion.
So at the November retreat, you all as a board discussed wanting to review and suggest updates to our comprehensive plan. So what I have done is we have given you some information. Binders with a hard copy of our current comprehensive plan. So you guys can review them, make comments, draft whatever you want to do on them. And then we've given you a sample comprehensive plan. So we can walk the compass plan, but we've given you a sample in our packet. So this is going to be a long project. It's going to take multiple meetings. We can do it however we choose to do it. The last time the comp plan was updated, we made some changes, but we didn't overhaul. We took out data and put it in appendices to make it easier to update. And the planning commission really focused on the goals of every chapter.
Yeah.
So you all can do this on do this. And so what I'm looking for is a little bit of feedback. Do you want to take chapter by chapter? Do you want to overhaul it all together? Do you want to take a moment to look at it and go add it to the next workshop if we have time, or the first workshop in March? We already have something for the February workshop.
Yeah.
How would you all like to proceed? How would you like to get started? If you have no idea, I'm happy to make some recommendations, but it is something we talked about at the retreat, something you all wanted to do, so how would you like to?
What were we thinking? So when is the last time we just did a little bit, but when is the last time we either created it or did a really heavy protocol? Okay, so it's time.
I mean, looking at this compass plan for Silverton, I mean, it's really nice.
It's way too long, but it's nice.
Well, ours is too long too. I mean, it looks like I was talking to Gloria in Silverton today, and she was saying Compass or community builders out of Glenwood Springs is who they hired. Is that do you know if they did all the graphic design and put the whole? They just basically put it all together.
Yeah, they did do a brown field.
They did. Okay. Okay. Do you know what that cost them to put this together?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it looks expensive. It shows up really well. I mean, but and that's all I wanted to say is that I like it. I like it a lot better than ours. It'd be nice to go that route and get something flashy and useful like this. But you know, maybe there's a less expensive way than hiring those folks, like just getting a graphic designer involved. I don't know. Just the presentation really struck me of how user friendly it is.
Yeah, I liked it too. I liked the layout. I liked the look of it.
Yeah.
Do you want a consultant?
No. I think we need to look at it first before we make any sort of decision on this. One thing I think we needed to look at is maybe just distilling it down to something that's a little more digestible for people. And maybe we're not talking about a comp plan here necessarily, but something that's more user friendly, that people like, that's more public facing, that is more easily digestible for people.
Concise.
I mean, we have a good comp plan here in that this gives us like what we want to accomplish as a town, but maybe we need something that, like you say, is a little flashier or a little more graphically
just user friendly.
Friendly.
Maybe like an executive summary.
A summary of what we're trying to accomplish here that people can understand better.
So maybe it's presentation.
That's something that people can come in to
pitch deck.
Yeah, it's something we can put online that people can understand too.
So, and I know you guys haven't looked at the comp plan.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the goals of the comp plan? Do you know what I'm saying? Because the comp plan is the guiding document.
Yeah, no,
So we need some kind of goals. So
Right.
if you're happy with the goals, maybe we don't spend our time there. Maybe we spend our time on giving you some examples of some simple, concise comp plans, some executive summaries. It's going to be more of a formatting discussion versus a content discussion.
Yeah, I think that's where I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where I'm heading.
Yeah,
more.
same.
Yeah, and I would say let us look at this and come back in a meeting or two, maybe.
Maybe let's look at the second meeting in March workshop.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do the first or the second meeting.
yeah.
Can I
The
ask,
second meeting in February 26th, we're talking about sales tax. It would not take the entire time.
Yeah.
So if you guys need a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that way we can look at, is anything missing that we would like in it? Is there anything that's outdated? You know, we could kind of take a look at it and then maybe we can figure out some kind of committee or something.
Yeah, I think the goals are pretty good, but it's a lot to take in.
it's a lot.
And I think that for us it's fine, but I think that if we want something that we can put online that people are going to understand, I think we need something that's a little easier to digest and something that's a little more visually pleasing.
Modernized. It needs to be modernized.
Between now and the next meeting, you don't need to do any research. You want me to say, look, here are some simple comp plans, here are some goal-oriented, just do nothing. And you guys will.
Let us digest.
I will take no action. I will spend no time.
Can I ask you a question to Jason? Because Jason, you've spent a lot of time in this. Do you feel, I mean, you probably read this more than anybody, do you feel like the goals align with things we've talked about, where the town's headed, like?
Absolutely, I think the goals are extremely valid.
Okay.
I think there's a way of just presenting kind of where you guys are going, and there's a way to present measurable steps towards those goals.
Yeah.
You guys can communicate outward in a more visually appealing manner. And
sure.
Yeah.
It's a visual world, yeah. Do you, I mean, you use this, right? I mean, applying for grants and different things, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that we're on the right track, wanting to make it more user-friendly? Like, would people who receive this on behalf of grants for the town of Memphis be receptive to a little bit easier to digest product? Do you think it'd be in our favor?
I mean, it's very rare where I'm just going to give them like a page of that or a section of it, but it does give me a place of reference.
Yeah.
You know, I think in my help sometimes it's just we have development taking a look at us. That's just presenting a more professional thing. You know, I mean, it kind of gives it a different vibe. So
I think we just need something that doesn't look like a bunch of government people wrote it.
You know who wrote it was our best and brightest intern. We had a best and brightest intern.
Oh, that was the title, not she wasn't.
Yeah, that's actually the title.
Okay.
It's a DOLA Best and Brightest program.
It's
interns and people who are interested in becoming town managers.
Yeah.
So we had a best and brightest intern for 2 years. Cool. So she spent 2 years on writing her 2011.
Okay.
Was she in college?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like a college student put together a report.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So
cool. That's neat background.
It is helpful.
Stuff down, but I'm going to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Let us look at it.
I put this on the workshop for the next sales tax and comp plan.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys can give us some more this direction at that point, and then we can.
Sure. We'll look at it, and I'm gonna look and see other towns and stuff, like just get some ideas.
If you find ones that you like, please send them to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what I can do is provide them to the entire board.
Yeah.
So they're all looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
You've looked at probably a lot of these things. Have you seen any that you're like, wow, that one's really good?
Well, the Silverton one stood out.
Silverton.
But there is a page on Bill's website about comp plans, and on there are probably a couple dozen or so that they feel were worthy of putting on there.
Cool. Can we get that link? That'd be really helpful. Yeah.
Do you want me to email it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
All right. Anything else on this topic? All right. Moving along, we have 2024 unaudited financials.
For your information, as most of you are aware, our financial auditor comes in May and gives you, provides you with the official audit that you adopt for the town previous. So these are unofficial and unaudited, but we generally give them to you. So if you have any questions or anything Larry, discuss something more in more detail, give me that info and I bring it back to a future meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is the format requested by the board,
Yeah.
which is why you received these by the previous.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so much better and easier.
Yeah, we've got, over the years, we've done several formats, and this is the most recent that I've been asked to provide.
Yeah.
Casell does just have reports that we can run,
Hmm.
but they're detailed, they're big.
Oh, wow.
So these staff's been asked to simplify.
Yeah.
for, you know.
So they don't have just like a synopsis one. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I can create a custom report if you all want, but
I just, whatever would be like the least amount of work. This, okay. Yeah. All right.
if you all want something specific, please let me know. We can provide whatever you want in whatever format you all as a whole would like to see.
Okay. Cool. Anything else from the board on that? All right. Next item is 2024 work plan update.
This is our final update from the 2024 work plan, letting you know what we completed, what we carried over, and what, if anything, we decided to just not do last year for whatever reason.
Yeah, thank you. There were a lot of things checked off. So.
Staff is amazing.
Yeah.
And they accomplished so much with so little staff and decreasing amounts of money.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
the staff is amazing.
Yep. Yeah. For the record again, how many positions do we have?
5 in the marshal's office.
Mm-hmm.
5 in public works, 2 in the plants, and 4 admin.
So 16? Yeah. Pretty amazing that you run a whole town with that. So thank you, everybody in the room.
Yeah, they're
Cortez has over 200 and Durango has over 400.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. All right, so that concludes our discussion and action items. So items for the February 26th, 2025 meeting. For the consent agenda, we'll have Mancos Planning Commission update, Montezuma County Planning Commission, Mancos School District update, and the student liaison report. You gonna let us know how many boxes of cookies we bought? And then what else, Heather?
potentially a change in meeting time discussion.
Yeah.
Visioning survey, Jason's working on a visioning survey based on the feedback that we've provided. So we're going to give you questions and survey before we release it in March for your final review and feedback. And then for the workshop, the sales tax information that you asked for, and you will be directing us with regard to the contract.
Okay. Right on. Anything else?
Nope.
The board wants on? No. Okay. All right. In that event, that leaves us with going into an executive session. And somewhere I have lots of information on how to do that.
So your issue.
Is it these things? These are just ground rules.
Don't stop any recordings.
Nope.
Public meeting is still in session.
Yes. Anybody want to play the Jeopardy theme song on the phone? Have a dance party? Village people, YMCA? Alrighty then.
No.
Sit down to Jamie, please. Thank you, guys.
Youngest is 9 months.
Maybe barely.
You can do a chunk. Yeah, a few hours at a time. Yeah. It's like, you get some sleep.
Thank you. I would have tried to wing it, but it's way too hard to do. Yeah. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to enter executive session.
I make a motion to go into executive session for a conference with the town attorney for purposes of receiving legal advice on a specific legal question under CRS section 24-6-4024B regarding water diversion location discussion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the vote? No.
All in favor.
All in favor? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passed. So we're closing it to the public. All right. Oh, that's before, because I know there's stuff before, stuff after.
So all of this, and then you turn off the
Okay. Yeah.
Well, but we don't do the room until the recorder's turned off.
Right.
So all of that.
Okay. So it is February 12th, 2025, and the time is 8 o'clock. For the record, I am the presiding officer, Mayor Cindy Simpson. As required by the Open Meetings Law, this executive session is not being electronically recorded. Also present at this executive session are the following persons: Mayor Pro Tem Brent McWhirter, Trustee Nick Manning, Trustee Daniel Hennick, Trustee Andres Esparza, Trustee David Payton, Town Attorney David Lieberman, Town Administrator Heather Alvarez, and Town Clerk Treasurer Jamie Higgins. This is an executive session for the following purpose: for a conference with the town attorney for purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under CRS section 24-6-402, parens 4, parens B, regarding water diversion location discussion. I caution each participant as we go into the executive session to confine all discussion to the stated purpose of the executive session, and that no formal action may occur in the executive session. If at any point in the executive session any participant believes that the discussion is going outside the proper scope of the executive session, please interrupt the discussion and make an objection. And so now we turn, I